Hey, Cordial. We'll get started here in just a minute. Just got to get some things set up. How's the audio? Can you hear me okay? Hi, Rita. Hey, Mark Hodgin. Howdy, Cordial. You guys hear me okay? You guys are doing good today. Hey, Carl H. I started the stream just a little bit early, but I got home a little earlier than I thought I would. But anyway, here we are. I see you guys got a little bit of that white stuff in your area. How you doing, Dutchman? There's Jimmy Riddle. How you doing, Jimmy? Good, I hope. Trying to organize what I want to do first on this little project. Hey, Mary Bernie. Hey, Phil. Yeah, Mrs. is doing okay. She's in the house right now. I'll be solo today. When I got home this afternoon, she said that very little pain. She's doing a lot better than she has been. I think the medication they gave her puts her out, though. She's probably watching inside, but I doubt she comes on the stream. She's just kind of laying down. But yeah, she's gonna live. I tried to get her to let me pull that tooth for her, but she wouldn't do it. I even got a special pair of pliers I was going to use. I brought these out and she ran. She didn't like that idea. Roll Tide, Katrina Denson. Roll Tide. Yeah, I'll tell you, she's been really thankful for all of you guys and the private messages and just keeping up with her and checking on her and all of that. So I will say we do appreciate that. And actually I think she's got some PMs that she told me she needed to get back out to you guys, but she just hadn't felt like doing much. I got a new flag. You guys tell what that is? That's my latest one. I haven't really done a whole lot in the shop since I saw you guys. I cut all that metal up on the bandsaw. I guess, was it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. And you guys remember Scott, the guy the photographer that does welding and all that. That was another project he tasked me with. I do all of his machine work that he gets. Let's go, Brandon. That's right, Katrina. So, but anyway, so today's project, let me adjust the camera just a little bit. Today's project is not that big of a project, but it's something that I've been wanting to make for a while. And I got I actually built one of these a while back, and I'm trying to think who I copied off of. I can't think of it right now. Yeah, 10 Barn Time. but I can't remember that fella's name. I'll think of it here in a minute. But at any rate, what it is, a lot of times I'll do sheet metal work and use pipe rivets, or just cutting holes or whatever. And it's hard to, no, not Joe Pye, not him, Carl. So I don't have a real steady hand anymore, and sometimes if I'm doing a long sheet of sheet metal or something like that, and I want a precise measurement off of the edge, I didn't really have anything to do that with, so I came up with this tool. And what this is, it's got a sharp scribe on this end, and what I usually do is lay the sheet metal flat against here, and it gives me a range of right at about 10 inches that I can go from the edge of the sheet metal in. And then I just hold this on the sheet metal, and then I drag the scribe along. It leaves a nice edge. But it also does circles as well. And I'll demonstrate that after I get the tool built on a little piece of sheet metal I've got laid out over here. It's already chem dyed up and all that. So, but anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and get started on the disc, the alignment disc, because I only have to face off one end and then I have to drill some holes. But it's just a piece of cold rolled steel that I just cut off of a larger piece of steel on the bandsaw. But we'll get started with this. I'll carry you guys over the lathe, we'll get it fired up and go from there. And I'll try to keep up with the chat, but it's kind of difficult being solo out here today, but I'll do the best I can. So I've got to clamp onto this little piece, and the only way I can do that is to put a parallel bar in here and keep it flush with the chuck. So I've since made a little tool to do this with, but it only works when you're working on a pre-machined surface. Unfortunately, it won't work on this, or I would be using that. Hey Bob, how you doing, buddy? Sex butter at the ready. That's right. Always ready for that. Let's see if that turns true. Yeah, it looks like it's turning true. So, you guys get to see one of the tools that I made right quick. Y'all remember this? This is a tool that helps me gauge the height of my cutting tool. Just slide this over to where it touches, adjust my tool there, lock it in, and that center is dead center with the chuck now. It's just kind of a speedier way of doing it. Alright, let me scoot you guys back up here. You can see. That ought to work. How you doing, Reese Potter? I watched some of your videos the other day, man. That was pretty cool. I liked them. To answer Mary's question, this machine is called the lathe, Mary. L-A-T-H-E, lathe. Go ahead and chamfer the edge there. Because like Quinn says, that's what separates us from the animals. I think while I'm here, I'm going to do the rest of the lathe work on the other parts. So that way I can get all this done, and then we can go over to the milling machine, drill some holes, and that'll finish it up. That way I'm not going back and forth. And this piece right here, I got lucky. This is going to be I guess what would you call that? The linear bar. And I was actually started a project earlier, and I already had drilled and tapped this hole. So it worked out perfect for what I need today. I ended up using something else for that other project. How you doing, Swanson? How you doing? Hope you're doing good. That's pretty much all I had to do to this, was face it and give it a little shoulder. So the next part, I'll work on the knob. Any of you guys recognize this material? It's got the knurl on it. There's a real hip guitar musician that I know that I made some parts for here a while back. Y'all might know him, the Lamb. And what this is this is the remnants of the knobs that I made him for his guitar. Well, that's pretty cool. Get this back just a little bit. I tell you, when I made this tool, I didn't realize how much I would use it. But, man, it takes the guesswork out of finding these tool height, that's for sure. Carl, you ever seen anything like that? It's just a piece of brass that I put an earth magnet in. It's a pretty strong magnet. And then I machined the top while it was together and then cut it off. And you just swing it around, you know, with a screw, lock it down, and it gives you perfect center height for your spindle there. Let's see. I need to measure something. Yes, it is, Carl. Like I said, it just, I set that down right here and touch the bottom of the cap there with the top of my tool, and that gives me the center of my workpiece. Makes it real easy for these adjustable blocks, and it takes all the guesswork out of it. Alrighty. Scoot it in just a little bit. I'm getting a little more chatter than what I want. This will be the little thumb screw, 301. This one was. $69,000. Yes, Swanson, watch the chuck. Hey Dutchman, type that back in. I think you had a question that I caught right as I turned the machine on. So if you'll ask that again, I'll try to answer your question. All right, 237. 5 thousandths to go. I've got it right here, Dutchman. I've got the air hose, but I'm trying not to blow it when I got the camera so close because it's really loud. But usually that's what I use. All right, we'll put a little chamfer on each end of this for the threads and on the knob there. And I'll leave this knob pretty long and cut off what I don't need. All right. So this is another project I'm going to do a video on. It's just a holder for my dies. I like to use this chuck instead of using the die holder that really sucks. The one that I have does anyway. So let me slow this thing way down. And I love this little jog function on my lathe. It really helps out a lot. You know what? Is that the right die? Make sure I put the right die in there. Yeah, I did. All right. Alrighty. How much of that do I need? Not near that much. So So obviously I don't need that much thread. So, but it's easier to go ahead and make it long and then cut off what you don't need. Alright, pick a gear. Any gear will do. That's a little too slow. I know, right, Swanton? Like I said, pick a gear. Any gear will do. One thing's for sure, it ain't gonna work if it ain't gear. Okay. Hey, Mark Dennison. How you doing, buddy? Relatively close. And I'm not doing the exact measurements of this thumb screw here. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm just kind of playing with it. But anyway, let's see if this is fast. Too fast. That is way too fast. Let's try that. seems to be cutting pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put my little chamfer on it before I cut it all the way off. It's just easier to hold. I won't mess up the knurl. That'll work. Tried to catch it, but it fell before I could get it caught. So, I don't want to mess up the knurl, but I don't like the finish on this piece here. So, I'm going to tape it up, put it back in the lathe. Actually, no, I'm not. I need a piece of paper. I may end up sanding that off. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, new tool time. I built this tool since I've seen y'all last too. This is actually just a centering tool. So what I'll do is I'll turn the lathe on, and this chuck is not gripped real tight and it's on paper. Well, if I roll this on the face of this, it should square it up. We'll see. I hadn't done anything as small with this. Hell, I don't know. It might work. There you go. Worked like a champ. And then I'll finish tightening it up. But what this tool does is when I have something in there in the chuck that's cocked off to one side, I can run this up against it while it's turning, and it'll take the wobble out of it. It'll just mash it back in there straight. I'm going to switch over to this little button head. I like the way it finishes brass. there you have it. That'll be the little thumb screw to lock it down. Alright, I'm going to take you guys over to the mill and we'll get started on those pieces. It's probably the best vantage point right there. Wipe some of this oil off. It's not that sort of channel. Oh God, that worries me. There's absolutely no telling what you people are talking about. It scares me sometimes. I'm gonna drill the hole first. Oh, by the way, my buddy Tim that was on the stream the other night, Mark, he really enjoyed the stream. That's right. Oh, hey Tim, what's up, buddy? I'm glad you made it. Just trying to find this center line that I've already scribed. Alright, we'll take the palm pecker and go ahead and seat it down. Now you can see why I built this. That's what it's for. Yeah, I didn't figure you guys were flying today. We didn't have the weather. It was crappy all day. Now sponging that palm pecker. For those of you that don't know, that's palm pecker. That's little pecker. And this is Big Dick's. All right, here we go. Let's drill a hole. You done forgot we do doing that, Mark. You don't remember that? I've got a little burr in here I'm trying to get out. 'Let me find the center on this, and I'll drill and tap that hole. 257, that should be centered. Oh, that reminds me. I've got to lower the table right now, and I have to use the hand crank. Well, this morning I ordered a new power feed for the Z-axis for the table to go up and down. So I just push a button. I'll probably do a live stream putting that together. They're supposed to be here this weekend, so that'd be cool. All right, we are centered. And this coolant deal that I made works pretty good too. I made that here a while back. I really like it. It actually works way better than I thought it would. Now that I've got that done, what I'll do is I'll touch off with an end mill and countersink it a little bit, because I don't have a bottoming die, and it leaves a little edge on the little nut. So this just allows it some recess. And guys, if you guys asking questions or whatever, if I've missed you, just when I get done and I go over to the table, we'll talk about it. And whatever your questions are that I miss. It's hard to do this without misses, but I gotta do what I can right now. I did see that, Mark. So how do you like my coolant? What do they call it? Flood coolant is what that's called. And they're very expensive to buy, so I made mine. And it's just a little submergible pump that goes into a tank, and then some hose, some tees, and then up to this little magnetic base up here. But it's priceless when you're cutting stainless, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. Stainless has a tendency to work harden, and what that means is as you work it, it gets hard, and you end up breaking a lot of tools. But with the flood coolant providing a constant cooling and some lubrication, because the stuff that goes in there is actually a lubricant. But anyway, it makes cutting stainless way easier. Now let's see if I threaded that the right size hole. Yes, I did. All right. This step is actually a pain to do, but I like having it this way. So this end gets a smaller hole for the another scribe to fit in it that allows you to do circles. I think I saw Charlie. Yeah, hey Charlie. How you doing, bud? All right, on to the final piece. Actually, I think I can get away with just one of those. do a test fit. Oh, it fits like a glove. Hell yeah. I'll take that all day. Alright, this is where this hand crank sucks, because I got to crank the table all the way up. For my power feed, I just push a button. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, this is the way I have to crank the machine up, is with this handle. And that table weighs about 400 pounds. So what I did is I bought a power feed that goes in place of that handle and looks like that. So that'll be here this weekend, and I can get started putting that together. But for now, hopefully I got enough travel here. Yes, that worked out pretty good. This piece of shit. Yes, Swungen, it is going south. I just about destroyed the workpiece. Thanks to that chuck coming loose anyway. So, we're going to switch it over a little bit. I'm going to use a little different end mill on it this time. Yeah, I know, right, Mark? Gotta love it when shit comes together. Alright, how about we try that again? That wasn't worth a bag of shit. Nothing. Yeah, never mind. Howdy, local. Good to see you, bud. Alrighty then. There's the line across the top. I think I'll take it over the $25 bandsaw and I'll cut off what I don't need. A little marred up end. Alright. So, what I'm going to do now is blacken this part. Just give it something other than a steel color to rust, and I don't like that effect, so put some lacquer thinner to clean it off. Let me get a glove so I don't touch it. you hear Warrant and Diva barking? Yeah. The walls are pretty thin in my shop, and when it rains, man, I tell you what, there's no way you guys could hear me because of the rain hitting the tin roof. The shop is insulated, but in a good rainstorm with a steady pouring rain, it's so loud in here you can't even think. It's terrible. And what I'm doing, I'm using this stuff. It's actually an acid, is what it is, and it turns the part black, and it really makes for a clean finish. At least I think it does anyway. It's actually what it actually is. It's a chemical for doing gun barrels, turning the gun barrels to that. I guess people call it blue. It's actually black. And then it kind of opens up the pores of the metal and allows me to put oil in it. So let me get this where y'all can see it. So this is what I'm using. Super blue. That's right, Lamb. That's what I was just saying. This stuff works really good. Watch how quick it turns it black. Let me get a drip. That quick. And I just kind of brush it on this raw steel. And it's not perfect, but like I said, it kind of etches it, so that I can put a layer of oil on it, and that kind of helps keep it from rusting. And I'll dab this up pretty good and set it to the side to dry while I work on the other pieces. Because one of the little pokers there actually gets glued in. But anyway, yeah, I like this stuff. It works pretty good. Technically, you're not supposed to dip the brush back in there, but hey, this is my show and I make my rules. But I'm sure later on, somebody that doesn't know me will think I care, and they'll post something in the comment about you're not supposed to put the brush back in there and da 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 da, all that good shit. I don't care. Don't care. We'll just set this over here to dry for a second. Hackett, that's right, Swanson. So while that's dried, let me put this away. And if you don't think that that it's an etching compound, look at that brush. It just eats into it. It's amazing. There you go. It's too close. But yeah, it's just eaten completely into that. Anyway, moving on. So, you can see that this one's considerably shorter, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to use this in little tighter areas and such as that, and I think it'll work great. I'm going to start putting it together, and I did change the little pin. The other one has a little short 1-inch pin in it, but I wanted something a little bit longer, so I made this pin. And you can see the little grub screw in the back. That just goes up in there and presses up against it and holds it tight. There we go. And Bob's your uncle. Well, I'm sure Bob's not my uncle. I'm sure he's somebody's uncle. Alright, and then let's see. Yeah, I want to put a little cover on the end, just to keep them getting broke. This little cover goes right here, keep them getting stuck. I bet you've never heard that before, Bob, have you? Bob's your uncle? He's thinking, shut up, asshole. Alright, dry enough. So you can see how that looks. It's still a bit wet, but that's alright. I can dry it off. There we go. See how black that is? I'll put a little oil on it. And that just kind of seals it up. And it just slows the rusting down. Y'all say it over there, Bob's your dad. Okay. Magnetite, is that, how do you say that? Did I say that right, Lammy? Alright. Now then, actually one of the hardest parts about this project, what do I do with my pen? Well, I've got a pin here. There it is. So, this pin goes down in there, and I Loctite it in. And what that is whenever I make a center punch hole on sheet metal or whatever I'm working on, that's the alignment for it. And I tell you what, this Loctite works pretty damn good. Once you get something in a hole with this Loctite, and you can see how tight of a fit it is. It doesn't want to stay in there. But now that I've got that in there, that'll dry. It dries pretty quick too. Probably within, I don't know, 10 minutes. That'll be hard as a brick, and you ain't getting it out, not without using a torch and some heat. All right. Let me put them all together and I'll show you the difference between the two. And then I'll show you guys how it works. I'll show you with the short one because the long one it's going to be hard to show you with that one. I need one more little cap. I'll be right back. Alright. So if you guys ever need to use Loctite like a glue, where you stick something, you know, in a hole. I don't use this on bolts and nuts very often, because like I said, when it's on there and it cures, it's there. But the Loctite 609 is what I use. Not sponsored, hashtag not sponsored, but anyway. Let me move this stuff out of the way and I'll show you what we got. Turn this where you guys can see. So I've got this piece of sheet metal, and you know what? Let me go get a clamp. Normally I wouldn't be clamping directly to this aluminum. I'd clamp on a block of wood or something, but this is just a scrap piece for me to show you guys what we're doing. So, here's our new tool. I'll take the covers off. Okay, and this is what it looks like. Okay. New shiny, brand new shop tool. And let's say I want to make a mark along this edge, and I want it to be exactly, well, let's go an inch. So I set up my caliper, or you can use a scale or whatever you want. I just happen to have my caliper sitting right here. So I'll come up here and set this up 1 inch. And go, 1 inch. So now that I've got my 1 inch mark, what I'll do is I'll take and I'll lay this flat on the sheet like this. You can see how that edge is flat right there. Now I can take my scribe and just go right along and make a perfect line. Actually, you know what? Let me make a smaller one. I gotta zoom the camera in. Not really. That'll work. So I just moved it into about a 1/2 inch. So I just come in and I keep that up against the sheet metal, and it makes a perfect line, just like that. And I like this shorter one because a lot of times I'll go around radiuses, and with the short one the handle doesn't hit your radius as bad as you come around. So, and the other feature I like about this is this feature. So let's say I want to make a radius. Up here in like a corner or something. So I can adjust everything. And you're fixing to see why I made this a little bit longer. Hey Chris R, how you doing, bud? Now you see why I made that a little longer. So I come into my center punched hole right here, and now I can do a radius. I'm just scratching the plastic on the deal there, but you can see you stick the pin in there, and if I choose to, I can go all the way around and make a radius. If that clamp wasn't in the way, I could make a radius. There we go. Anyway, but the tool works really good for doing circles, straight lines, all of that kind of business. And I don't use it a lot, but when you need it, that's one of those things, that's the only thing that will work. So it's good to have. Just another tool in the shop. And man, I wish I could think of his name right now, the guy I copied. I want to say Mr. Pete. I know it's not Mr. Pete, because he does a different show, but I can't think right now who it is. Older gentleman. I think he, yes, anyway, Pragmatic Pete. That's it, I think. But anyway, that's who I got the idea from. But yeah, I like it. You know, fully adjustable. You know, with the flat on there. The reason I put the flat on is to keep this from rolling. No, not him, Carl Shed. I watched him today. He did his 3-jaw chuck. He got it sorted out. Lee, Pragmatic Lee. That's it, Pragmatic Lee. Hey, Jimmy. Yeah, yep, appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, Pragmatic Lee, Carl. You can look up into him. He's an older gentleman, real country like me. Got the accent and all that. So, but I'm not real sure where he's from, to be honest with you. Yeah, that Loctite's already hard. I can't pull that out. Well, it goes. That goes quick. But you can see, here's my short one. I like it. Very easily handheld. If I have to do it one-handed, I can. That makes it a lot easier. And then for the larger radiuses and the larger segments, Because a lot of times when you do sheet metal like this, you may have 6 rows 1 inch apart of rivets. So it's real handy to have something like this to keep those lines straight, and you can follow the radius if you have a radius. It works great. Another thing you can do that I chose not to do it on this because most everything I do is square. If I do a big radius, and what I'll do is instead of using this big chunk of steel here, I'll probably use a smaller diameter steel about the size of this brass scribe, and I'll go through it to where I have less contact surface. Instead of having a radius on this edge, it would be on something round. So I figured it'd do a lot better. But anyway, probably next stream I may go ahead and turn this out. This is going to be another die holder for my small dies. These are little bitty, and I don't even have a die wrench for that. This is about 3/4 of an inch, whereas my other one are 1 inch dies. So that'll make it a lot easier, you know, to hold the dies and whatnot. But anyway, so yeah, Carl, look him up. He's a pretty good dude. I like him. Yeah, Shed Dweller's awesome too. He did a real good video today. Like I said, on his 3-jaw chuck on that green lathe that he just rebuilt. It worked out really well. Yes. All right, Corey, good night, buddy. Thanks for coming. Actually, Mark, if you're talking about the color to make this black, or are you talking about the blue dye? If you're talking about this stuff, it has no effect whatsoever on non-ferrous material. It won't even touch it. It's got to be steel, and it won't touch polished either for whatever reason. If you polish something to a mirror shine, it just runs off. But if you scuff it up with like steel wool or something like that, it really works good. What is a black? Oh, the black, yeah. That's what I was saying. That chemical works great, and it turns it, just normal steel, it works great, but it doesn't touch non-ferrous material. It won't do anything to it. Like stainless or aluminum or whatever. And an update, I'll go ahead and update you guys on this. Carl, you'll love this. This is the chuck that I bought to replace the one that I broke off a few weeks ago. And I have pressed this thing in 4 times. And I don't know why it keeps coming apart, but I'm just about ready to weld it together. That compressor hadn't ran all week. Until today, when I'm trying to wrap up a screen. That's the way it wouldn't have it any other way. Missus is watching, she's laughing right now. It'll shut off in a minute. Yeah, Carl, when we get this shop added on, that's going outside. No, Katrina, it's not in this shape. It just, for some reason, it just does not want to grip. But, like I said, I'm actually going to use some of this Loctite on it next time I press it together. Mark Hodgson, have you played your new Joanna yet? Are you done? Anyway, like I said, that compressor hadn't come on all week. Yeah, the minute I go live, here it goes. Yep. Yeah, it never fails, right, Carl? But anyway, I'm kind of wrapping it up, guys. You guys, you got any questions? Anything going on? Anything you want to announce on the stream? I don't really have much else. It was rainy here today, so we didn't fly. The weather sucked. I don't think Tim flew either. So we'll try it again tomorrow, but I think the weather's going to be kind of crappy tomorrow too. But I'm planning to do another stream next week. I might pop in over the weekend because I got some stuff going on you guys may dig. If I get the power feed in here and look at it and read over the instructions on how to put it on, I may do a live stream doing that just so other YouTubers, you know, that if they buy the product, they have a better guess of how to put it together, you know, put it all together. Thank you, Swanjan. Rita, I will. I'll tell her for all of you guys. And we do appreciate all the outreach you guys, you know, and the thoughts. Thanks, March Hodgin. Thanks, Phil. Thank you, Katrina. Yeah, I do read the instructions, actually. Believe it or not, I read the instructions. Yeah. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. Ah, I see. Bum pilot life, I understand that. Yeah, we're believe it or not, on our side, we're having a hard time finding stands pilots. And for you guys that don't know, a stand pilot is standardization. When we train everybody exactly the same. Like, you know, and the instructors are standardization instructors. And that's what me and Bum Pilot are talking about. But how you doing, Batman? I'm actually wrapping it up, so I'm going to say goodbye to all of you guys. Love having you guys here with me today and making that little part. Maybe I can get this chuck fixed by next week where it doesn't fall apart. We'll see. It's a taper chuck. It's not supposed to do that, but it is made in China, so it is what it is. But yeah, Lamb, good to see you too, buddy. Hope everything's going good with you. Carl H., glad to see you. Glad you guys came. Mark Hodgins, I know you're loving that piano. How many times have you dusted it? Yeah, since I showed you that picture of mine, what, yesterday? I already need to dust it again. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It never ends. But fuel auger and stream. Are you staying home, Mark? You gonna stream tonight? Let me know, because I'll go in and turn on my TV. But anyway, guys, I appreciate all of you guys coming along with me tonight. Went a little longer than I thought it was going to because I had a tool change right in the freaking middle of the job. But I'm going to get on back inside. Okay, Mark, I see you're coming on. So I think that's what you said. If not, I'll catch you later. But if you do come on, I'll watch for you. But yeah, guys, I'm going to get off of here. And I'm planning on a stream next week, but you know how things go. So polish out the tapers till they glue out and press them. That's a good idea. What do you use, lapping compound, I guess? I don't know. I'll study up on that, though. I don't think they're mating correctly. But anyway. All right, Katrina, and as always, roll tide. And I will catch you guys next week. It's good to see you all. Thank you for coming. All right, guys, I'm shutting her down. Have a good night. Roll tide, Lemmy. Roll tide. I'm just watching you guys. I don't want to cut y'all, but I got to. All right, guys. We'll see y'all next week. Much love.